Welcome to the Fox 54 Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. It's the only place in North Alabama to get this week's local headlines condensed into one program. Here's a taste of what's ahead. Our top stories this week: we started the week with tornado warnings, followed by a snowy surprise and freezing weather. After the severe weather weekend, Athens and Limestone County residents expressed their concerns about access to storm shelters. Storm shelters in Limestone County are becoming a concern for residents as we enter severe weather season. Several people online say they aren't enough shelters for everyone to be safe during a disaster. Here's a map of all the storm shelters in Limestone County. For Athens residents, the nearest one, the Owens Community Shelter, nearly 10 minutes from downtown. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us the dilemma.
Storm shelters like these in Limestone County can be critical during severe weather, but some online argue with the storm season rapidly approaching, there's just not enough shelters within Athens city limits.
It goes without saying that a storm shelter is going to be the safest option. They're typically partially underground. If they're not partially underground, it's a lot of reinforced brick and steel, or it's a completely reinforced steel building.
That's why the Limestone County Emergency Management Agency and the city of Athens have been trying to build 2 new storm shelters, one in the city and one in the eastern part of the county. But several problems have delayed the shelters for almost 10 years, including changes in federal grant guidelines, the COVID-19 pandemic, and issues with the cost of a new shelter. They're currently pursuing grant funding to get those storm shelters up, but both projects have to meet strict regulations and are subject to approval from FEMA. In addition, the majority of the cost would have to come from storm mitigation funding, which the county EMA can only receive after a statewide disaster takes place. The last time they got enough mitigation funding to build new shelters was back in 2011, after several major tornadoes ripped through Alabama.
It's just a long process. Normally, if we have a disaster like we did in 2011, there's mitigation funds that are attached to that disaster. That's how we built several storm shelters back then. The funds are more or less from funds that are not used.
The county currently has 16 FEMA-approved public shelters and almost 3,000 private shelters, but Athens Mayor Ronnie Mark says it's a problem that residents have to travel out of the city to get there.
Certainly there's concern, and the concern is that people need to try to take every measure to take care of themselves and their families. I wish I could have said that it was going to be here 5 years ago, because it really is a little bit, quite honestly, a ridiculous process that should have been resolved.
Emergency officials say they're trying to get the storm shelters up as quickly as they can, but they still don't know when they might be able to start construction. In Limestone County, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The proposed shelter in East Limestone County would serve an area without any current public shelters, but it's been in progress for nearly 3 years. A major annual rock festival moved from Coleman to Decatur this year. With the festival getting closer, Coleman is concerned about the economic impact. Rock the South's move to Decatur could leave the city of Coleman to pick up the lost revenue after the festival opted to move to a larger venue. Some are glad, and others think the city is losing something that put it on the map. The festival has generated millions of dollars every year with big lineups and even bigger crowds. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us the local reaction to the move from Coleman.
The party continues to move as the biggest party of the South makes its permanent home in Decatur, leaving residents here in Coleman wondering what comes next. Rock the South is moving to a new location called the Fields at Decatur, nearly 45 minutes north of its birthplace in Coleman. Previously, the festival had problems with mud, available shade structures, and space for RVs and cars to park. According to staff at the festival's parent company, Peachtree LLC, the new venue will give it more space with better amenities than the York family farmland they were using. Some of those include 150 acres of space, expanded campgrounds with drainage, more shade structures, and a second concert stage. But that comes at a cost for the city of Coleman, which saw an overall revenue stream worth nearly $150 million as thousands of people came for days at a time.
I liked it here in Coleman. I kind of thought that it was good. Brought a lot of traffic, kind of put us on the map. So that I enjoyed. I think we kind of got to use this as like a wake-up call to like try to do the best we can to accommodate for stuff like that so we can keep Coleman growing. I hate that it went to Decatur, but at the same time, I think the event could even be bigger there.
The festival also brought nearly $2 million to local charities, something they're expected to keep doing despite the big move. In Coleman, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
And this year's festival will run June 11th to the 13th at the Fields of Decatur, located off of Gordon Terry Parkway. National news comes to the Tennessee Valley as truckers share their concerns over diesel prices and locals respond to the debate over the SAVE Act. Diesel prices continue to climb nationwide, and the impact is going far beyond the gas pump here in Alabama. From trucking to shipping, industries are feeling the strain, and those costs will eventually start to hit you. According to AAA, the average price of diesel in Alabama now $4.98 per gallon, just under $5. That's up more than 20 cents per gallon from last week. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala takes a closer look at how some trucking companies are adapting to keep up with the sharp spike.
Every time this number goes up, truck drivers say their profits go down. And when it costs more to fill up, it costs more for just about everything. Diesel is the backbone of industries like trucking, shipping, and construction. And when prices rise, companies are forced to make tough decisions. Jim Wall, president of 256 Trucking, says the rapid increase is putting pressure on their business.
Whenever diesel goes up, especially when it goes up as high as it did, in such a short time frame, we have to pass that kind of cost along to our customers, which, some are willing to pay that extra cost, some are not. And so it just tightens up our margins in an already really tight margin industry.
Wall says right now it can cost between $700 and $940 to fill up a truck. And truck driver Alan Morris says he's noticed rest stops have gotten emptier as the price of diesel continues to rise.
While everyone's trying to figure out where the fuel price is going to go, because everyone has to account for that into their cost, whether they're going to accept the freight or not. So freight's slowed down massively.
With shipping jobs often going to the lowest bidder, companies are scrambling to find ways to save.
If you decide to pass your cost of diesel fuel along to the customer, which we don't always, but if we did, it could be the difference in us winning or losing a job depending on how tight the bidding is.
Wall says many of their loads weigh between 130 and 190,000 pounds. And the heavier the load, the more fuel it takes to move it, meaning some trucking companies may have to lighten up their loads to offset rising diesel costs. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
And as diesel prices continue to climb, those costs are likely to add up, eventually making their way down to you at the register. The U.S. Senate debating the Safeguard America Voters Act, commonly known as the SAVE Act. This legislation would change the way you register to vote, requiring voters to provide proof of citizenship when they register and to show accepted voter ID when casting a ballot. But it's not just officials in D.C. who are debating the bill. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman joins us live in the studio. Gabe, you've been speaking to officials and organizations across the state, and the responses seemed mixed.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Kenesha. When it comes to the Save America Act, some people are concerned about its impact, which could potentially reach millions of Alabamians. If passed, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act will change the identification you need to present when you show up to vote. The bill, now being debated on the Senate floor, has already gained backing from both Alabama Senators Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville.
One of the main requirements of the bill is that people show documents like a passport or a birth certificate to be able to register to vote. And the reality is tens of millions of people don't have those documents readily available.
In Alabama, more than 3.6 million U.S. citizens don't have a passport. That's according to the Center for American Progress. It's one of the reasons why the Southern Poverty Law Center is against the SAVE Act. Another group of people who could face impacts, married women who have changed their last name, making their birth certificate invalid under the proposed identification laws.
Many women who've gotten married and others who've changed their name for various reasons don't have a birth certificate that matches their current legal name. And so they wouldn't be able to just show up and show their birth certificate. They would have to show additional documentation.
People who have changed their names, their current identification doesn't match their birth certificate. So, it is a concern because we believe that people have the right to vote, and this will be another barrier in that happening.
While these concerns exist, Secretary of State Wes Allen says he doesn't see any major roadblocks for people registering to vote.
The last thing I think the U.S. Senate wants to do is to put roadblocks up into people being able to register to vote. And that's the same thing with our office, but we're ready to implement the Save America Act if and when it is passed and signed into law. So we're ready to comply and to help educate those out there that would like to register to vote.
Now, the vote to even debate the SAVE Act just narrowly passed with a 51-48 final count yesterday. The talks surrounding the SAVE Act could last for days, but it's expected to end in a failed vote. From the Fox 54 studios, I'm Gabe Glassman.
Finding assistance can be hard for people without homes, but a local app is hoping to make that easier. One of the greatest obstacles in being unhoused can be not knowing about the community resources that are available. Now, there's an app for that. One local man, John Wanamaker, created Street Coach, an AI app that uses ChatGPT to get people the help they need. It answers several basic questions to get an idea of what someone experiencing homelessness needs before offering a step-by-step guide for obtaining shelter, food, a shower, or legal documents. Wanamaker explains how it helps.
It'll ask you, do you feel safe for tonight? You can put in the answer. If you don't, it'll help you find the resources to become safe. If you don't have food, it'll help you find food. If you don't have shelter, it'll help you find shelter for the night. Even if you refuse to go to a shelter, it'll tell you strategically what do you do to live out in the open and be safe.
Wow, if you or someone you know might need the resources, you can find the app on tinyurl.com/streetcoach. The city of Decatur votes to upgrade their recycling program and allow short-term rentals. ARAB leaders answer questions on the fraud that cost the city $400,000, and Huntsville Stadium Commons prepares for more growth. Back, the Decatur City Council has unanimously approved a major investment in the city's recycling program. They voted to purchase a new baler and 3 artificial intelligence sorting machines for the city's materials recovery facility. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala spoke with council members and with bulk handling systems to see how this investment will help the city.
Standing next to a bin like this, it's easy to think recycling is as simple as tossing something and walking away. But in Decatur, new AI technology could help turn what's in these bins into reusable material faster and more efficiently. Recycling in Decatur has been temporarily delayed after a baler system failed. To improve operations, the city approved 3 AI-powered sorting machines that will double the amount of recycling processed each year. James Cole, the managing director of BHS Technology and Automation Division, says these machines can identify materials by shape, color, type, or even brand.
One is an AI-driven robotic picking machine, so it'll use a vacuum-based suction robot with our AI vision. It's making recycling available at an industrial level and reducing the need for a human to have to stand over a moving conveyor belt and sort other people's trash, right? So it's a job that a human doesn't want to do.
Cole says the system requires little maintenance and can even detect a jam and clear itself. Decatur Councilwoman Pam Worsler calls this a win for the city.
The baler that we currently have has some parts that are still in warranty, so that's good. But when the balers go down, that really throws things into a spin. So having another one as a backup is a really good plan. When you are able to recycle, then you're cutting down on the amount of trash that you put into the landfill.
The city also approved a new baler costing about $115,000 to handle the increased material the new AI sorting system is expected to process. In Decatur, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Decatur City Council says the new baler could take about 4 to 6 weeks to be delivered, installed, and fully operational. The city of Decatur has announced it'll begin accepting applications for short-term rental certificates starting April 1st. The city council recently passed an ordinance setting new standards for rentals like Airbnb-style properties, covering safety inspections, parking requirements, and neighborhood protections. The city will cap approvals at 150 short-term rentals per year in eligible residential zones. Property owners will have a 90-day grace period before fines kick in. The city of Arab lost more than $430,000 in a sophisticated fraud scheme earlier this month, and the city council held a closed-door meeting to address resident concerns. The city says an unknown individual or group posing as a legitimate officer of a company building the city's new recreation center successfully misrepresented themselves, causing the fraudulent payment. Tonight at the Arab City Council meeting, residents Jim and Regina Coleman brought up concerns about transparency, asking the city council for more information about how the fraud happened and what steps are being taken now.
I just have a lot of questions, and the mayor has described the event as sophisticated phishing, phishing, and I would like to know what about it is sophisticated. I think all the citizens need to know exactly what happened.
I'm just kind of flabbergasted that a city with the kind of resources that were in the financial report today could have such a large expenditure of funds.
Lots of concerns there. Well, following the meeting, City Council did not offer any further comment on the fraud investigation. A multi-million-dollar vision is continuing to take shape in South Huntsville. Stadium Commons is expected to create a new hub for retail, work, and housing in the Rocket City. Construction has been underway for the past couple of years on the $145 million development, and it's beginning to draw the attention of residents. Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell tells us how the area is developing and what residents hope to see.
The Stadium Commons development is slowly but surely coming together. It has been under construction and in the works for a couple of years now, and though there are no businesses listed on the signs behind me that you can see from the street, it does appear that a few businesses are on the way. Hattie B's Hot Chicken kicked things off last December as the first tenant to open in the area. For the people working here, they're already seeing the potential for this hub to grow, and they are anxiously awaiting their new neighbors.
We came in December. I really think we're looking forward to some neighbors, looking for more food. I've heard some talk about other restaurants coming. We're looking forward to more retail. Definitely there's some clothing stores coming. I know there's some guest service kind of buildings coming, some pedicures, manicures, stuff like that.
While many storefronts remain under construction, signs for new shops like Free People Movement and VSL Nail Spa are already up. The promise of new clothing boutiques and dining options has the community watching closely for when the project will be completed. In Huntsville, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
Fox 54 reached out to the developers for an update on when the new businesses will open, and we'll bring you those details as soon as they're released. An international conference 42 years strong right here in the Rocket City this week at the VBC, helping professionals stop and think about the effects of child abuse. They're learning to help children cope, from the incident itself to the months of therapy that follow. Back in 2024, the National Children's Advocacy Center recorded almost 500 forensic interviews and 83 therapy intakes, totaling more than 3,000 sessions in Huntsville alone. Thousands of people will visit throughout the week, many wanting to learn more about how to manage that trauma in an often life-saving way. Fox 54's Gil Paguayo takes us to the VBC.
Over 1,000 professionals dealing with child abuse are coming from around the world this week to learn some more about stopping abuse as soon as it makes an appearance. The International Symposium on Child Abuse runs today through Thursday, and they'll cover a wide variety of topics ranging from trauma management to handling forensic interviews involving children. And organizers say this week is all about helping the survivors, featuring hundreds of resources catered specifically to them.
About 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be traumatized by their 18th birthday. And one of the things we know about trauma is that in most cases, you have to deal with it, right? I mean, it's something that happens to you and you have to find a coping way to deal with it. And counseling really teaches them some skills to help them deal with the trauma so that they can lead a healthy, happy life.
The National Children's Advocacy Center started here in Huntsville, and 42 years later, they're still bringing speakers from all over the world to discuss the latest advancements in the industry. That includes topics like how to identify abuse, what to do when they see the symptoms, and how to support their own mental health as they work through difficult cases every single day. In addition, there are 44 exhibits for community resources, therapy materials, and cameras for conducting forensic interviews to identify physical abuse. Conference organizer Victoria Tumbleson describes the importance of getting together to talk about a difficult topic like child exploitation.
They have the opportunity to change a child's life for the better. They have the opportunity to take what was a very traumatic experience for a child and make it into something that is just a part of their life and not their whole life. And to be able to provide a space for them to do that is really empowering.
Organizers say the goal is for everyone to take something home with them so they can better manage child abuse and help children work through trauma. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Those industry insights will help attendees from all around the world manage children's trauma as they work to prosecute those behind it. Let's wrap up by meeting this week's Fox 54's top teacher, Olivia Wilson. Teaches 3rd grade at Weatherly Heights Elementary School in Huntsville. Her students love the excitement and energy she brings to the classroom.
Now, Fox 54's top teacher. Sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
This year marks lucky number 7 for one educator, and many folks say they're lucky to have her as a teacher and a peer because of the work she puts in. Meet this week's Fox 54's top teacher, Olivia Wilson, from Weatherly Heights Elementary School in Huntsville. In Olivia Wilson's class,
so we just played Word Detective.
Students are hardly in their seats.
So yeah, they get 5 words and they have to pick a word that it's describing. A lot of times it's a synonym.
Wilson likes to keep her kids working, yes, but engaged too.
Activity activates their brain.
Nice.
It gets them fired up. Their brain pathways expand, they build them. If they're sitting too long, their brain shuts down.
She teaches a grade level she says is her calling.
Didn't choose 3rd grade, it chose me. This is my 2nd year in 3rd grade.
And every day this calling is what keeps her coming back.
It's the children. They know their priority to me, and they come in, they're excited to be here. I get messages from parents saying, you know, thank you.
Rose Kennedy.
Okay, ready?
One of those excited students.
Miss Wilson, she is really fun and she makes everything seem really fun and she always thinks of the best things and she's just really nice.
Rose also remembers a fun activity she enjoyed in class.
Once we did a STEM activity where we got we got marshmallows. We were learning about quadrilaterals. And so we were building quadrilaterals with those.
Wilson loves her students and her desire is for them to keep thriving beyond her classroom.
I hope they have a love for lifelong learning. I hope that they're excited about school and they want to keep growing, they want to keep learning. And I really hope they're excited about their brains because we talk about their brain a lot.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Mrs. Wilson. We have full interviews in the moment. She was surprised as top teacher exclusively on Fox 54 Plus. Download on your TV, watch for free. Be sure to nominate a deserving teacher on fox54.com. Thank you for watching Fox 54's Weekend Review. Count on Fox 54 Plus to bring you more great programming with in-depth local specials, locked on sports, true crime, cooking shows, wellness experts, and continuing weather coverage. For everyone at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a great weekend.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, Plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
Did you know that you can get weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus? Here's how. Go to Fox 54 Plus on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, or Samsung. Once you're on the main screen, push the down arrow and click on the Fox 54 Plus Weather Impact 24/7 block. Here, you'll find radar, current temperatures and conditions, traffic cams, forecasts, and more, all available on demand. Want to get back to the main channel? Just push the down arrow and click on the 24/7 stream button. It's your weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus. Start streaming today.
There's more to Fox 54 Plus with the Locked On Podcast Network. From the Tide to the Tigers, from college teams to pro, the Locked On Podcast Network gives you insights and analysis you just can't find anywhere else.
These kids, they want to play.
I don't think so. I think it was Chad Baker Mazzara.
Locked On Sports, streaming every day of the week and right here on Fox 54 Plus.